It looks like Total War Warhammer 2 has released an interim maintenance beta patch, as they call it. And what this does is going to be a lot of some balancing changes, some big bug fixes, and then some tweaking on some of the units for combat. So it says right here, we've diversified some of the orc tech tree bonuses, reduced some high tier orc recruitment times, made some unit balance changes for other races, and more besides. And if you want to opt into the beta, you're going to have to follow these instructions. It pretty much just means right-clicking Total War Warhammer 2, go to Properties, go to the Beta tab, and then opt into 9.2. That is this beta in specific. And I will have a link to this in the description and the first comment, so you can go ahead and jump through here if you want to read this in person. So, let's see here. This big note up front, though. Please note there have been changes made to the Black Orc Big Boss skill tree in this update. If you're loading a save game that includes a Black Orc Big Boss, the hero will likely be missing skill points and stats due to the changes. For players who might experience this, we recommend starting a new campaign if opting into the beta. So a lot of the big changes here for the campaign pertain to the Orcs research tree. So all these things right here have gotten a massive overhaul. And, well, no, I'm sorry, not overhaul, but tweaking. And what their primary focus here was saying that a lot of the orc bonuses relied a little too heavily on weapon strength. So they've been tweaked thusly. Heavier clubs will now give melee attack for all orc infantry +8, not just savage orcs. Heavy metal will now grant 10 armor for orc infantry instead of doing 3 melee attack, but also weapon strength bonus reduced from 10% to 5%. Better arrowheads. All effects now apply to all missile infantry, not just goblins like it used to be. Ore painting gives a 10% speed for orc boars. This was previously 10% recruitment cost reduction for savage orcs. And then lastly, Gobbo Crackdown increases 10% speed for all infantry, not just goblins here. So a lot more faction-wide buffs going on here, a little less fine-tuned. In addition to, we also have a scrap upgrade for the padded shield on the orc boys. It's no longer just going to give you a missile block chance. It's also now going to grant 15 armor, and that missile block chance has been reduced from 40 to 30. So a solid trade-off, I'd say. Then another set of changes here is changing the recruitment time for your big guns, savage orc big guns, and boar boys down from 2 to 1 turn, and then Norskin giants and Greenskin giants down from 3 turns to now 2 turns. So the big thing here are the general bug fixes and improvements. Some of the big standout ones, though, are this one right here. Gambling Winds of Magic will no longer give the same result each time. So just to kind of put this into frame of reference, you press the gamble button. No matter what your number was, what you gambled, it was going to be the same number no matter what. So if you started with 7, press gamble, it'll be 7. So this has now been changed. The Black Orc Big Boss has a stauncher skill tree. And now Grimgor has a lot more focus on the Black Orc Big Boss. It can enable recruitment for him in all regions, and he provides a +2 capacity for the Big Boss himself. Eltharion can no longer permanently imprison lords following an auto-resolve battle. That's the key line there, is auto-resolve battle. And this is a nice little improvement too. Lords captured via the Warden's Cage ability will now unlock their Lord defeated traits. So you kind of... You had to choose. Am I going to kill this guy and get his Lord Defeated trait? Or am I going to get the Warden Cage ability and get experience from him, get supply, whatever I wanted to get? Now you get the best of both worlds, so I think that's a really cool option here. Added High Elf Fire Mage on Sundragon to hero unit cap, which is interesting. Imric's long campaign victory can now correctly be accomplished for those that do not own the Queen of the Crone DLC. And this was a big bug that people saw too. Victory condition achievements should now correctly unlock when completing a campaign as Grom on the Vortex campaign. This is another big one too. There are a lot of these little tiny bugs that I think ultimately really broke the experience for a lot of people's campaigns. One of the largest ones that they thankfully hotfixed was the fact that Poison wasn't applying their necessary reduction to weapon strength and missile damage. So that has been hotfixed, and now we're seeing a lot of these other ones that were pretty evident. I'd say this one is a pretty huge one, but the Winds of Magic was probably one of the largest standout bugs that I personally experienced. But rank 7 veteran skills now affect the Regiments of Renown included in the Warden and the Paunch DLC, so that's nice. We can finally actually get the little extra bonus from them. Alariel should now be able to recruit the new mages introduced in the Warden and the Paunch. And there was another one I wanted. Black Orc Big Boss now correctly has voiceover in all areas, which is beautiful. Renamed Karak Ungor to Red Eye Mountain, and removed fightiness from effect bundle when laying a siege as greenskins and fixed various localization issues in multiple languages. I thought there was another one that was pretty standout. No. I guess I was wrong. But we also get a little bit of unit balance changes here as well. The Dark Elves got a little bit of a nerf here now to all of their Scourge Runner chariots, the Regiment of Renown and the Standard Edition. It's their per entity health changed from 1256 down to 1166. Greenskins got a bit of a tuning here as well. Shamans on Warboars now do more damage with a base weapon damage increase by 10 and an AP value increased by 40 on their damage. The Black Orc Big Boss got a bit of a swaparoo here. So base weapon damage changed from 255 to down to 120. But armor piercing damage changed from 185 up to 270. So you can see a little bit of a swap with the base weapon damage, swapping with that AP damage as far as those values go. Getting a drop in that base weapon and increasing that AP damage. Goblin Great Shaman gets a massive buff to its stay ability via health, and it's a potential to attack more with the melee attack increase of 4. That nice, huge 902 or 905 increase to his health, and reload skill change from 0 to 10. But he loses 30 armor, dropping from 150 down to 120. I think kind of keeping it in line with the massive buff to his health here too. So I think that's pretty fair. Snotling Pump Wagon, multiplayer cost change from 450 to 500, but all 3 of the Snotling Pump Wagons have removed poison contact effect from thrown mushrooms attack. So they will still do their damage once they get into melee, but it's the thrown mushroom attack that is no longer going to give that poison contact. Ulthar's Raider ammunition of primary weapon changed from 8 to 12, which is nice. You'll be able to get a lot more usability out of these guys just having those 4 extra volleys in basically. Silver and Guard have a base weapon damage change from 22 to 24, AP from 10 down to 8, and multiplayer cost change from 800 to 850. I think that's a pretty good one right here. You're getting a little bit more base damage out of these guys for the cost of a little more AP, or a little less AP, I'm sorry. But they're already very strong, right? You've got like 70, 75 armor on these guys. You've got magic resist on them. They're just a very good spearman unit at a pretty cheap point cost. I mean, you're doubling your spearman cost more or less at 800 versus the 450, and you get a very, very good unit. So I think that that's a pretty fair balance here. Eltherin the Grim got a change from 2150 to 2050. So only his Stormwing variant. So basically it made his Griffin a little bit cheaper by 100 points, hopefully encouraging bringing him into your armies a little bit more. Repulse de Lyonesse got a run speed change from 70 to 75 and charge speed change from 106 to up to 108. A little bit of a tweaking there for Bretonia. Now we did get an ability change here as well, some balancing. Lord of Dragons and Fermented Fungi are the 2 biggest ones on this list. So Lord of Dragons got a duration reduction down to 22 seconds from 30, and cast range change from 150 to 75. And that seems to be the motif for almost all of these, 150 to 75, 75 kind of being that new standard it looks like. Fermented Fungi though, look at this. It's like a huge reduction. So 36 down to 17. That's more than that 50% chop right in the face there. So it's now 17 seconds, which is pretty good. It was a pretty broken and strong one. I wouldn't actually say broken. Might be saying a little too much, but it was a very strong ability before, but its cast range has been reduced from 100 to 75, so you do have to get a little closer to make that go off. Your next cast range change from 150 to 75. They needs Stabbin 150 down to 75, and then you've got Spinning Looms, cast range changed from 30 to 25, and added a condition can no longer be cast if the unit is below 25% health. And the last one, Balloons of 8 peak, cast range changed from 30 to 25. So hopefully you guys can jump into this beta over the coming weekend here and have some fun, and hopefully play through your campaigns that were maybe stuck a little bit, or you were just not having as much fun. Because I mean, honestly, this is pretty huge. Gambling Winds of Magic will no longer give the same result each time. If you got a terrible roll out the gate, you had to hope you had enough Winds of Magic reserve to really boost your wins up to get higher than a 3 at the start of the game. So I think that's a really nice fix there. I do like this one as well. Grimgor really becoming the master of the Black Orc Big Boss, Bob as he's called, B-O-B-B. So I really like that tweak there, giving that increase to his capacity, and the ability to recruit those Black Orc Big Bosses in all regions is very nice as well. And I think that this is another really good one too. Eltharion can no longer permanently no! Lords captured give the Lord defeated trait. Because I really hated having to decide whether or not I want to just kill them, get the Lord defeated, and then have to fight him again to then capture him. So I like that I can now get the best of both worlds. Of course I would say that because I like High Elf so much. But hopefully you guys check out this beta patch over the weekend, like I said. And if you want to opt in, there are instructions right here. You'll find them in the description as well as the first comment. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that kind of fun action. And if you do subscribe, click that little bell icon, slap those all notifications icon or dialogue option again. That way you'll get queued in on any of my beta updates, any of the patch notes, all my streams, lore videos, so on and so forth. Speaking of lore videos, we got a juicy one coming up. But as always, guys, have a good one and take care.